the way the world is right now, and especially Detroit, but really all across the world, independent filmmaking is winning right now. And especially in COVID season, right? Because we ain't got nothing to do. Everything's shut down. So sit your butt on the couch and watch a movie. That's all you have to do.
Hey, everybody. Thanks for joining me today. And I have a special guest in the house. One of Detroit's finest. You might know him for being a radio personality, but he wants you to know more about him as a filmmaker and a writer, actor. Welcome, Kamal Smith.
What up, though?
What up, though? Hey, Kamal. Thank you for coming on. I appreciate it. You were my first Detroiter that I've actually been able to interview. So thank you for that, Trailblazer. Well, he actually has 2 projects right now that you can check out with Amazon Prime. Yep. Not Left in Vegas and Price of Love.
One crazy bachelor party.
We are about to embark on the journeys of all journeys, okay? We're about to have the bachelor party of all bachelor parties. Jay, what the? Don't you even dare. Don't you dare say that word to me. You don't get to say that word to me. No, I get to say that word to you.
One huge argument.
Let me tell you something else you don't know about your mama. She watches porn, too.
What did you and Dad do?
Oh, we got divorced.
Are you serious? Is this real?
And one big secret.
So how long y'all think Shy do?
Hey, here's the keeping secrets.
We supposed to tell each other everything, y'all. Hell, I even told y'all about that time I lied to Ron about having an affair, hoping he would divorce me.
You never told us that.
No.
This fall, the truth shall set you free.
The whole time we was planning the wedding, all I could think about was how I was gonna take her out. You mean like different date ideas? He's talking about killing her.
She doesn't know what she's missing out on.
I'm willing to do anything and never lose you again.
How did you end up writing and directing Not Left in Vegas? What motivation? Just kind of tell us, how'd you get here in 2020?
The fast answer to how I started writing, music was my first passion. I always wanted to be a singer. And I wrote a lot of, song lyrics back in the day, Chasing the Dream, my demos and things like that. And I just kind of fell into acting after chasing the dream. After this is just not it. You know what I mean? I was kind of defeated as far as I actually went on American Idol back in 2004. And I ain't win. I actually even get in front of Paula and Simon and Randy, who were the judges back then. And I remember just coming home, just kind of defeated. And I ended up just doing a play or, auditioning for a play. And, it was kind of me seeing that these song lyrics are, I can turn these short stories into scripts, you know what I mean? And I just kind of fell into writing, that way. Fast forward, 15 years later, Not Left in Vegas, I just felt like, it would be so funny to, actually tell a real story of, trying to get to the aisle, right? To walk down the aisle, you know what I mean? There's a couple of movies out there, but, nothing that I felt like was told the way, it really goes down. And how, you go at it with your fiance in the process of planning a wedding, you know what I mean? It's not all peaches and cream. And I just, I can't tell it because y'all got to see it, but I just felt like, you always hear about these bachelor parties going to either, Miami or, you know, Vegas, right? And so I thought, like, you know, what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas. But what if what happens in Vegas didn't stay in Vegas? You know what I mean? And it just, the imagination started rolling, and I came up with this crazy plot. And now everybody's talking about it on Amazon, man. So I'm just happy right now. Really thankful for what's going on.
But is this your first movie? Because I kind of feel like you did some more. I know what I definitely remember you from, and that's kind of like when I hit you up on Facebook, I saw what I had wrote to you before was We Are Men. Was that the name of the show?
And yeah, because we're men.
And that was the first thing. And I remember I just, you know, I saw you know, it on Detroit TV, and I was just so inspired.
Yeah, 5 years ago, man. I had 2 seasons on TV20, which was just so cool, you know, being on every single Sunday, you know what I mean? But so no, to answer your question, is it my first film per se? No. So here's what people should know. A lot of times when you may say written and directed by Kamal Smith or just anybody, but that doesn't necessarily mean it's my film, right? So if you had a film, right, and you're not a writer, you know what I mean, but you got the money to back it, you know what I mean, you got this story, this crazy storyline, and then you sit down with me to write your crazy plot, right? You're not a director, so you got to hire a director, you know what I mean? It just so happens that I do both, right? And then I kind of got the trifecta because I act as well. But so typically when you see written and directed by somebody, that's usually that person's film, right? But in these latter years, it's not, and I want people to know the difference. You know what I mean? It's, you know, whatever producer that's producing this film, it's their film, you know what I mean? But they hired me as hired help to write and direct the film. But that was my first film, and I had no idea what the hell I was doing at all. Like, it was just like, what? Because I literally, you know, I'm transferring from stage because I did plays first. And then I got the opportunity, you know, same type of situation where a couple of young brothers came up to me, was like, they want to do a movie, you know what I mean, about weed and, you know, well, the conversations, it was more than that, but, you know, it's like, I didn't know Loud Pack was. I was like, Loud, what is Loud? I don't know, you know what I mean? I'm like, I don't understand, you know what I mean? But we had a great time. So, you know, anything in life, you live and you learn. And I learned a lot about, you know, making film for the first time. And immediately right after that, I got the green light from TV20 to produce my own television show called Because We're Men. And so, boom, there was, right, 2013 and 2014, that's when I filmed it, but the actual, it came out 2014 and 2015.
Okay.
Yep.
So based off, say your first film until now, or, you know, being, you know, hired help,
yep.
I'll say that, like you said, that was a 10-15 year journey.
Yeah.
So I don't know, like, what would you tell the audience, like our filmmakers, the filmmakers that are watching? I guess what's been your most important lesson?
Oh man, my most important lesson. Well, for one, let's just go with what you said, right? It's been 15 years, man. I started acting in 2005, and it's now 2020, and I'm just feel like I'm breaking through, right? And when I say that, I don't mean that I haven't had success. I mean, I've had sold out shows everything that I've done, you know what I mean? But to be in a position where I'm kind of now an in-demand director or in-demand writer, you know, it took a process. It took a while to master my craft, since, you know what I mean? So I guess the first thing was just know that it doesn't happen overnight. Now, here's the good thing about filmmaking. So like my filmmaking journey is less, right? So I started acting in 2005, but I started doing film in 2011, right? So now we're technically only talking 9 years, right, of filmmaking. The way the world is right now, and especially Detroit, but really all across the world, independent filmmaking is winning right now. And especially in COVID season, right? Because we ain't got nothing to do. Everything's shut down. So sit your butt on the couch and watch a movie. That's all you have to do. I think that you know, in our market in Detroit, man, like, you know, we're known for Motown, we're known for music, but we are rising as a film community, you know. So my first advice would just be, just do it. Like so many people hesitate on things because they feel like, oh, I don't got the money, I don't have that. Man, like, dude, ain't nobody trying to hear all that. Do it. You got an iPhone, you make all types of stuff on your iPhone. Make a movie. You know what I mean? Because you just never know where that can lead. I literally made 4 iPhone movies during the pandemic, like in the months of May and April and May-ish. You know what I mean? Because I was like, man, I'm not about to just be trapped in his house doing nothing. You know what I mean?
Make use of your time.
I made 4 iPhone movies, which, by the way, they're on my YouTube page. Go check out director Kamal Smith.
Okay.
But it's, you know, I think we are an excuse-making people. You know what I mean? And sometimes you just have to say, damn all the excuses and just get out there and do it. Maybe your end result may not be what you thought it was going to be, but at the end of the day, you did it. And completion is so important, right? Just completing something and seeing, okay, this is what I want to do different. Because once you complete something, you get that itch like a crackhead. You're like, oh, I want to make another one now. You know what I mean? But there's obviously there's a process, right? So you know, what element are we talking about for filmmakers, right? Because some people are just good with the camera. Some people aren't really directors. Some people aren't writers. You know what I mean? And you need all these things to take place. So if I break it down in the sense of, hey, you need this, and this to make a movie. This is what you really need to make a movie. A script. Now, a script could be a feature film, or it could be a short film, which could be only like 10 pages, right? Your actors and an iPhone per se, and an editor. Because if you don't know how to edit, then you need an editor, right? That's what you really need to just make a movie, right? Now, I'm not talking about the movies that may still go on Amazon, but that's what you need to just get out there and make a movie, right? Because now when you're talking about making a movie that hits on Amazon, yeah, you need the full thing. You need a camera crew, you need sound, you need makeup artists, you need style. I mean, you need all that, wardrobe, all that, right? But that's when you popping off a quick 30 grand just easily. Just on the low end, 30 grand to make a film. You know what I mean? Everybody don't have 30 grand in their pocket. You know what I mean? So be creative. Another piece of advice I would say is ask for help. My first film that I would say is my first film that's actually not just written and directed by me, but it's my first film as in it's mine, right? Is actually Coffee Talk, which is on Amazon as well. But I look at Coffee Talk, which is my baby. I cradle her. Oh, you know what I mean? Then left in Vegas, and of course you're gonna see progression. You're gonna see progression in the quality. I didn't have it like that. So I didn't have 30 grand. You know what I mean? I got this hot 5 and help. Could somebody please help me? You know what I mean? Like I had to pull my soldiers in for people like, yo, who's just down for the cause? You know what I mean? So I would say definitely, ask for help, because sometimes people just want to, they do want to help. I want to see you succeed. I'll shoot it, man. It's cool. You know what I mean? You may not have that money to be able to spend and make a feature-length movie, but I'm just giving you the 3 different variations, right? It doesn't have to be a feature. It can be a short. It could literally only be 5 minutes long, but at least you made something, right? And it'll give you the bug and the buzz to do more. The second idea is, again, asking for help and people who are literally trying to get in the game just like you. So if I'm a director just trying to get in the game, but I talk to a director of photography, which is the guy that's actually filming it, and I talk to an actress or an actor we all just trying to get in the game together. Ain't nobody talking about money and charging, man. Let's just make this movie. It's a passion project. Let's just make it. You know what I mean? And that's how it can start as well. And then you end up being to the position where you're making the Not Left in Vegases and The Price of Loves and all these other movies.
I just had a whole conversation with someone who wrote a script and sent it to me, right? And when I looked at the script, I was like, oh, I wish it could have been something simpler. You
Sure.
know, because I felt like the resources that we would need to make this movie is more than what we have right now. So I feel like, well, am I putting limits on myself and the writer? Because I think it was like 5 main cast people or something like that. It was a period piece in a sense when you did the flashbacks and stuff like that.
Mhm.
And I was thinking, well, maybe we can just do something a little more simpler, but I don't know. So, but when you're telling me, you know, you can just do the iPhone, get your movie out there. But what about people that, okay, let's say we do have the talent per se, we have the talent to get it done. Can we expect, if we do invest $30,000 or 15, okay, I'll say 15 or 10, like today, how things keep changing, like even with Amazon, they drop how much money they pay people. Like over the years, it's went down significantly. So is that a model? Will we just be doing it? So if I was to drop 10,000, we raised 10,000 for this movie and it was good and it got on Amazon, are we looking at a return or are we still just doing this for the love?
So here's the formula. Initially, what you want to do is you want to make enough capital so that you can keep making more money, right? So the idea is that you get, you know, your return. You know what I mean? So if you put 10,000 in, you want to hope that you get 10,000 back, right? So that you can make another one. So what I can say is, I think you have to be very strategic on how you market it. I think it has to, you know, for you to get 10 grand back or, you know, even the 30 grand back, it's a continuous thing. Like you can't just drop off. You have to continue every day. You're marketing because it takes a while for you to, you know, I mean, you got a good 90 days. I think that first 90 is where it's really going to hit, but you got to think it's not just Detroit. Like you have to get it out worldwide, right? So you want to come up with creative ideas and ways to promote it and market it, not just saying, hey, watch my movie on Amazon, y'all. You know what I mean? You want to do photo shoots. You want to do, you know, strategic things where you're showing, you know, little clips of the movies to get people to be interested in. So to answer your question directly, I can't say, would it be just a waste of 10 grand, right? Maybe not. You know what I mean? But it's really about the promotion, and people don't understand how tedious promotion can be, right? Because you're not just going off of social media. You know what I mean? You're going on your family, your friends. You know what I mean? Sending out text blasts. Hey, yo, got my new movie on Amazon Prime. Please check it out. You know what I mean? But at the end of the day, you know, and you got to do that a couple of times. You got to, hey guys, just a reminder. You know what I mean? Because what we're looking for as filmmakers are streams, right? If we don't have streams, then we can't get money. And if we can't get money, we can't make another project. You know what I mean? So ultimately, you know, I hate the way that, you know, Amazon and, you know, it's not just Amazon, Netflix as well. You know what I mean? They're chopping down these prices of what the payout is. In so many words, because they can, right? Then don't put it on there. You know what I'm saying? Like we good, we rich. You know what I mean? So, yeah. And you know, Amazon is a huge platform. Netflix is a huge platform, right? So, no, I'm not gonna give you the $60,000 on Netflix. I'm gonna give you the 6. Take it or leave it. You know what I mean? Which sucks. It's like 6, man. I just paid 40 grand. You know what I mean? Like, what do you mean 6? But I'm Netflix, and I'm like, well, your movie is on Netflix. Take it or leave it. You know what I mean? So you just have to. I can't definitively say, yeah, you'll get your 10,000 back. You'll get your 10,000 if you bust your ass for it. You'll get your 10,000 back. You know what I mean? Or whatever it is to put it in. But just understand, promotion is a grind. It's just as much of a grind as making a movie. You know what I mean? Your job isn't over. Your job is really just getting started. You know what I mean? By the time you get your money back, you're going to be so sick of that doggone movie. You know what I mean? You know, said it out your mouth so many times and you watched it so many times and all the stuff you got to do just so that you can get these streams. You know what I mean? So what I would just encourage people is, you know, don't go into it necessarily thinking you're going to make a lot of money. You know what I mean? Your first goal is just to make your money back, you know? And then after that, you know, if anything after that is just gravy. You know what I mean? If you put 30 in and you get 40 back and you just profited 10 grand, you take that 30 and you make another one. You know what I mean? That's love. You know what I mean? But I also know, you know, a lot of filmmakers here who've had huge success. You know what I mean? I'm going to put their numbers out there, but they making, you know, 6 figures off of their films. You know what I mean? And that's where you want to get it to eventually, you know?
I'm so happy to hear that. That's encouraging. And I will automatically probably think that's because they're so consistent. I'm thinking it's maybe the Moolah team that they can hit those numbers. Yeah. Because
I mean,
somebody
also different platforms, you know what I mean? We speak of Amazon, but I mean, you want to get it on, you know, Amazon and Tubi and Google Play and, you know, IMDb, TV. I mean, you want to get all these platforms because the more the platforms and the more eyes that are watching, the more streams you're getting. You know what I mean?
Okay. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, but
Oh, so like even with that, it seems like it costs money to do that. So when you go about it, are you putting your movies up like self-distribution? Are you going with like a studio?
so
Like how are you distributing to these platforms?
me,
And also, part with that question is the DVD model dead? Would you consider DVD? Because that kind of came up in the filmmaking chat. A gentleman, Mark Harris, talked about hustling and how he made all of this money self-distribution, just having events and giving out DVDs as a part of it. And my thing was, I don't have a DVD player, so I'm feeling like it's dying down, but they're like, no, you can still do it. So yeah, so
we are getting into the world where, you know, is becoming like a VCR, right? Like it is a dying breed. So what I will say is maybe if you have an older audience, I don't know your demographic, not you specifically, but like people, you know what I mean? Like, you know, grandmas, yeah, they still popping in DVDs, you know what I mean? But, you know, for the most part, even they are transitioning and understanding, you know, that it's, you know, it's about digital now. As far as your first question, so with Not Left in Vegas, I have teamed up with UCoat Studios. So what a distribution company will do is they'll be able to put you in these positions where you'll be able to be on these platforms that you necessarily don't have the, you know, the way to touch, right? So like, for instance, Coffee Talk, I put on Amazon myself. But that's the only access I have to. I don't have access to Tubi and, you know, all these other streaming platforms where a distribution company will. It doesn't necessarily cost you anything like to pay, you know, there's no upfront costs, right? But it will cost you as far as the percentage they'll take out of what you make, right? Right. So that's where it'll cost. But at the end of the day, you know, it's worth it, right? So, you know, if you're making 50 grand and they're taking whatever percentage they take, every distribution company is different. You know, you're still making enough to make your next movie, which at the end of the day, that's what you want to do, right? Yeah. Or let's just say you're a one and done, right? Because like, you know, some people just have an idea. I have this idea for this film. I may not have another idea for this film, but if I put 30 grand in it, I really want to make a movie. Let me just make my 30 grand back, man. Like, can I just make my 30 grand back? Because that just means that at the end of the day, you made a movie that the world can see for all practical purposes for free. Because you got your money back, you know what I'm saying? So that is the biggest aim as a filmmaker. You just want to be able to get your money back, you know what I mean? Now, whether you reinvest and make another film, that's completely on you. But that's the aim. That's the aim for the majority of us.
Okay.
So you know, it's pick your poison. You can, you know, you could just put it on Amazon yourself, but a distribution company, basically, you just have more platforms and more opportunity to make more money.
Yeah, it seems like they would be able to get you in front of more people.
Exactly.
By yourself, especially somebody see like you being a radio personality, people know your name, you know, da 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 da. It's a little different from somebody like me with like I think I had like 700 Instagram followers, and then Instagram shut me down. So I'm like,
Who's out there? Who's out there twerking?
I don't know. I think because I used a Big Sean song on a video, and they were like, "You can't use," but I'm like, "You let us use it in stories all the time, so in real. So why couldn't I upload it in the?" But so that was that. But okay. So speaking of big names, the other movie that you got, you said it just dropped tonight.
Price of Love, yeah, it dropped earlier this morning actually. I Swear Vezo, his first film, which is a really great piece of work. So it was cool collaborating with him, and you know he had came up with the story when he was in a hole, when he was literally locked up, and he came up with the storyline, and when he got out. We connected, and you know I was able to write the script and direct the movie. And actually, the true version is I really at the time I wasn't even on board as the director at first. So it kind of came back full circle. I think due to scheduling conflicts or whatever with the director that was hired to be the director at the time. But it came back in my lap, and it was really, man, I had to really take a breath because I've never really done a street movie before, you know what I mean? And so I'm like, man, let me tap into my John Singleton Boys in the Hood, you know what I mean? Or I really was like, I was up for the challenge because I really wanted to see to myself, and nobody else, just to myself, that there's not a genre that I can't direct, you know what I mean? So being out in the streets and making this film was really, really cool. It really was. It was really cool.
And so tell us, what's the, you said it was a street movie. What's like the plot?
Yeah.
What's the synopsis of this movie?
Like the whole point of its Price of Love, it really has to do, the storyline is around a brother and sister, right, who grew up in a house not conducive for two children to grow up living. You know what I mean? I guess this is not giving up too much. The sister was, constantly molested and just treated bad. And the brother, not so much, you know what I mean? He was, I guess, mommy's favorite in a sense or whatever, you know what I mean? So when you have that, and then, years later as adults, it's a choice, right? Like, I've been abused and this, that, and the other for so long. So maybe it is that by nature, I run the streets now and I'm a hustler, you know what I'm saying? Whereas for me, I was treated good. I was whatever. I end up actually in law enforcement, and so without giving away too much, she as a hustler and the brother as a detective, there is something that happens in the streets which brings their worlds together. And so ultimately they had to pay the price, which is of love. Love is the light. There was a choice that has to be made. Yeah, I'm trying not to.
Okay, yeah, that's enough. Yeah, that's good. I get it. Yeah.
It's not just your, boom, boom, I'm on the block, I'm selling dope, dog. And it's not that. It's actually, it goes way deeper than that. You know what I mean? And it has a really good storyline and an ending that is really like, you just don't see coming.
Good,
all.
A little plot twist. I enjoy that because I think when people talk about indie filmmakers and then Black indie filmmakers, they do kind of get stuck in the street movie genre. And street movies are okay. I feel like we like them too because we wouldn't love Menace, we wouldn't love Boys in the Hood, All Day and the Night, new one.
Boy.
But it's just sometimes you be like, this is everybody's first film. Like when you look at it, it's just the cell phone conversation, no microphones. And I'm like, okay, they did it, but I don't want people to think that that's all we're capable of. Like even with you, like this your first street film, like you've done a lot of comedy. I feel like you do comedy.
Yeah. And I'm, I'm glad that I did, and that's a lot of times the reviews that I see when I'm reading the reviews from Not Left in Vegas, people will speak to that, you know what I mean? How it's not. And again, I say this without any, I obviously encouraging to watch Price of Love, that I'm proud of just as well. But when you have a romantic comedy, you know, you just don't see that as much as you do street, the block, dope dealing, and that, you know what I mean. And you do feel a way, even as a filmmaker, like man, we as a people, we are more than that, right? We're also, I mean, yeah, we're in the streets, but we're also college degreed. We're also business people. We're also CEOs. We're also, you know what I mean, happily married. You know what I mean. So there's a lot more stories that I just think that, you know, we can tell, that I'm looking forward to diving into just as a filmmaker. Really, you know, embracing the challenge of just giving more content, you know what I mean, and showing the young artists that are coming up, man. You can, it doesn't just always have to be the block, you know what I mean. We can do
absolutely. And that's one of the things that I even enjoyed about your content that was on the WB 20.
Yep, TV 20. Yep.
Yeah, it was about Black men, and I felt like I kind of was on the inside, because, you know, it's mainly women in my family, like, you know, so when I'm you know, so just to get this vibe from these men, it was good to see another portrait of Black men and what they go through, how they work things out. So yeah, your voice is just very important.
Thank you.
To the community at large. So I definitely want to encourage you to keep up the good work, and that's why we're going to support you. We'll be watching Not Left in Vegas. I'll make sure to have the links in the bio. So y'all,
thank you.
You're gonna enjoy it. You're gonna enjoy it. And also, you know, you got to flip the script sometimes. You know, we got the yin and the yang. Watch The Price of Love too. You know, so So I appreciate you coming on. Thank you for dropping all those gems of knowledge.
Also, please, you know, I have a lot of content on my YouTube page, a lot of short films, and so I'm talking this because I'm bringing it back to one of your first questions is about, you know, what's the advice to give? Just go do it, man. Like these short films, I shot in like a day, and not just the iPhone ones, like the short films, and you'll see the difference, but a day or two, you know what I mean? I'm thinking maybe 15 pages at the most or whatever. It doesn't cause for, you know, be creative to where, you know, you only have 2 locations. So you don't have to have, you know what I mean? Like a big, massive crew and things like that, you know? Even in one location is kind of cool. There's one that's called Dinner at 8, which is, that's a doozy. But Dinner at 8, you know, we shot at one location. We shot at one house, and it was all about the story of 2 couples having dinner together at 8 o'clock, and what transpired in it. But you know, just go. I'm not just saying go on there, you know, just to like subscribe to my YouTube. No, I'm just saying go on there so you can see what I'm saying about getting out there and just doing it. So again, that's Director Kamal Smith on my YouTube page. There's at least 6 or 7 short films on there, and be looking out for Because We're Men, by the way, because I'm thinking I'm going to be actually re-release that and put that back on Amazon as well.
Yay!
all that's coming.
Excellent. So yeah, we got to check out the YouTube too. I'm saying go subscribe. It don't cost you nothing. And you know, so you'll be up on it. That's the easiest way for Black people to support each other. Like, I'm not asking you to do anything that's going to cost you anything. And it's not going to be a waste of time because you're going to be entertained. You know what I'm saying? And so like, share, subscribe. I'm telling you for him, like, share, and subscribe to Director Kamal Smith on YouTube.
Thank you so much.
And we'll have those links down. Yeah, anything else you want to say or anything for us?
No, man. You know what? I feel like, you know, with this conversation, first, let me just say thank you again for having me on the show. I really appreciate, you know, just any opportunity to be able to shed light and support, encourage, and uplift my community to do something positive for one, and chase your dreams for 2. So I guess I'm just gonna leave y'all with this. This is bittersweet because this is how I would always sign off my show, every single show for the last 12 years on radio when I was a radio personality. But I would always sign off by saying, "You can become, or you can wonder what you could have become." So just remember that, man. Don't go through life and regret. Don't look up 20 years later like, man, you could have, but you chose not to for whatever reason. So you can become, or you can wonder what you could have become. All right? Don't live in regret, y'all. Go after it.
All right. Thank you, Kamal. He said, go get it, y'all. Go get it.
Let's go.